Hello, hello, beautiful goddesses. Welcome to my channel. This is Polkis, your life coach. And today I have a beautiful guest. Hello, Jess.
Hi.
Let me introduce you to this amazing woman. She is a wife, a mom, a birth coach, a Reiki coach, a life coach, and a mechanical engineer.
Yes.
And she does this all amazing work with women too. And so I introduce you to Jess.
Hello, everyone. So happy to be here with you, and I'm so happy to see you in person.
Thank you.
We've been working online for a while. Yeah, I'm just so happy to see you in person, to hug you, and just to be in your energy because we've been working together for a while. Yeah.
Yes,
And
in many circumstances,
many
yes.
circumstances, yeah, and it's amazing to be in your energy. So,
Aw,
I'm
thank
so
you,
happy.
Jess.
Yeah.
Thank you. And it's an honor to have her here sitting next with me. And also doing this interview with her. I was so excited to interview this amazing, powerful goddess.
Thank
And
you.
I want you girls and goddesses to that are listening to like try to pick up a few things from this amazing brain. She has done amazing things with her life, her family, her marriage, and now giving back to the community, the woman. So Jess, do you want to share a little bit about your background, like a little bit about your story, anything that you want to share?
Yes. So I was born in Mexico, in Guadalajara, Mexico, and we moved here. My family and I moved here when I was 8 years old. And from a very young age, like education was number one, and I'm so happy for that. That was the best gift my parents could give me. So the gift of education was the best gift that my parents could have given me. And I knew that I wanted to succeed in life, so I got really good grades in school, and then I went into college and studied mechanical engineering and did all of that. Met my husband there, have two beautiful kids, and I recently quit my job. I'm a life coach, like you mentioned, and a birth coach, and I'm really living my dream life after finding the feminine energy work, working with you, and just expanding more and allowing myself to be more me.
Wow, Jess, thank you so much for sharing that. Like her background story, I feel like many of you can resonate because she came when you were 8. You came when you were 8,
Yeah.
and then you have to like grow and adapt to this country, the language, and she became a mechanical engineer, and she has been building this amazing, beautiful life that you have. So thank you for sharing that. So speaking of like being an immigrant here and going for like a career in STEM or trying to like graduate college or do something different, like how was that for you? Like how challenging was it, or what challenges do you have to like overcome to get where you are or what you have built?
For me, the first challenge was college. College was super hard for me, very challenging, because I didn't know how to study. I didn't know how to overcome challenges in terms of education because school was always really easy for me until college. And so I had to figure out how to study and just like continue being motivated even when I wasn't the star student. I wasn't getting those straight A's. I was
The
failing
straight
classes.
A's.
Yeah.
Those classes.
Yeah. Like that really hurt my identity as someone that, saw herself as really smart and high achieving woman. Yeah, I think that was one of the main challenges in college.
So when you graduated and when you decided to go into the corporate world, how was that for you? Do you have any blocks or beliefs because you were Latina, you were immigrant, like engineering is a male dominated world. Like
Yes.
what were some of the beliefs that you had to like
Oh my goodness.
face?
Oh my goodness. So I'm the first in my family to graduate from college. I'm the first engineer in my family.
Wow.
So I'm the first to really go into this corporate setting. I didn't have, somebody guiding my hand, like this is how you shake hands, this is how you do a resume, this is how you interact with other people in the office. I had to learn all of that on my own. It took me a little bit of while, and it was a really like a culture shock for me, especially because I'm someone that's very shy and like very reserved. And I had to come out of that like comfort zone of just staying in my little bubble because I was working in construction management.
Wow, look at this woman. Can you believe that?
Construction management is all about the relationships, talking to people all day long. And so I really had to like overcome that and like get out of my shell, really, and feel more comfortable in my own skin and like in my own self to feel confident to be able to do
To do
So
that, wow, that's
yeah.
amazing. I feel like you showing up is what like open that confidence. Like I have no choice but to show up.
Yes, yes, exactly. And that's how it's been all my life. It's just like I make a decision. I don't know how the heck I'm gonna do it. I just take the action and I figure it out along the way.
Wow, I love that like idea that you know you make a decision and then you just show up and it's gonna the ideas are just gonna flow and you're gonna figure it out. I love that. See, if you want to accomplish something, just start, show up, and you will figure it out on the way.
Yes.
Wow, thank you for sharing that, Jess. So, what would you tell like some like Latinas that want to join like a STEM career or get into engineering? That they're maybe doubting themselves, their capacities, and let's say that they want this career, but then they also want to get married and they also want to have kids. What will you tell them? Because I feel like you're a fusion of all of that. You have your kids, your business, your husband, you did that career. So what will you tell like a younger self?
Definitely, if engineering is your passion, go for it. If it's not your passion, and you don't really feel called into it, but maybe you feel pressure, don't go into it. Go into something that you love. If I would have had that knowing, then I would have chosen something different. Maybe I would have gone into like acupuncture or maybe like nursing, something different. But because I felt pressured to be like financially successful, I went into engineering. And I love like my career in construction management. I think it was a good fit in expanding myself, but I could have done something different if I didn't have that pressure. And
Yes.
finish your degree. That's amazing that you're going after degrees. You learn so much. I mean, not just about the courses that you're taking, but like just you grow as a person in college. You meet different people, and just more opportunities show up for you. Like you grow your horizon, like my parents say, with education. So
Yes.
definitely do that. And I'm actually really lucky that I stay true to the wanting of building a family. I have always wanted to be a mom. And so that was my priority in life. That was one of my priorities on top of having a career. I think that some women are losing sight of that a little bit.
Yeah,
Like,
especially nowadays, this era, I feel
yes.
like they don't want that.
Yeah, and you can have both. One of the things that I'm feeling more called to share now is that women do have like these stages in life that we need to honor. So one of that is that it's riskier to have kids after 35.
It's just a scientific fact.
It's just
Can
a sign.
fight it.
Yes,
I don't
yes.
care what you say or
Yeah.
think. You know, it's just the truth of our
Yeah.
biological bodies.
So knowing that we have a timeline, we need to be more just aware of where we are spending our time and our energy. And yeah, just having that in the back of our mind. If we want to become mothers, knowing that, you know, and it's all possible. I had this goal of having my kids by 24 because that's when my mom had me. And I think that that is the perfect time for me because now my mom is 50 and she's able to help me with my babies. And it's so helpful, like especially as I was building my career and as you know I quit my job, but they're still helping me so much, and I'm able to do the birth coaching and all the extra things because
Yeah.
I have that support.
That's super well.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful.
Yes.
You're very blessed for that. And
Yes,
thank
I
you
am.
for sharing that message because I see a lot of women now really want to go into like these corporate careers or like big, as I call them, big girl jobs. And
Yes.
nothing wrong with that because I'm an engineer and we have like the same, like similar background. And I feel like I love what you say. You just honor what season of life you want to be and are,
Yes.
and just be aware where you're investing your youth, your energy, your creation energy, right?
Yes.
Because if you're going to create someone else's business like a corporate and that's your passion, go for it. But if you want kids, use that like to find a way that you can have it all. So speaking of having it all, like, the business, the husband, the career, do you believe the woman can have it all in this time?
I think so, but I think it comes in stages, like I was saying earlier. So after having my daughter, so I have a 4-year-old boy and a 2-year-old daughter, and after having her, it was a lot more difficult to manage both the career, the kids, and my husband. I know tons of women do it, but I felt like I wasn't doing like the good enough job that I wanted to do in both. When I was with the kids, I was thinking about work. And when I was at work, I was thinking about the kids. I was at work and I was giving like all of my life force energy to work.
To work, because that was like your whole day, basically.
Yeah, that was my whole day. Wake up and then I don't get off till 5, and then I have to drive all the way back to my house till, and then I'll get back home till like 6:30 because
And that's almost bedtime.
That's almost bedtime. And you know, luckily my kids stayed with family, grandmas and my mom. I still felt like I was missing their little baby, their little toddler's years. And then the relationship with my husband also, like there was some resentment coming up from me because I was working and then I was not expected, but I still needed to go home to my second job, which is the family and taking care of kids. It was
making dinner after a long day of construction, you know, being an engineer on site.
Yeah. So that was definitely putting a strain in our relationship. And like I mentioned earlier, like marriage, kids, being a wife, that was a big part of my identity and one of my big goals in life. And so I really had to take a step back and be like, what comes first? What takes the priority in my life right now?
Yes.
And it was the kids and my husband.
Your husband, your unit, your family. I feel like right now, honestly, this is something that I always repeat myself. And there is no coworker, no boss, no corporation, no company that needs you more than your kids. Like that's a fact. Like that's your generation, your kids. And jobs, I feel like jobs will always be there.
Yes.
You know, like you can always build the career later. And if you know, you're having a hard time to manage and, you know, like do all of these, I'm sure there is other ways, like you just mentioned. It's phases, you know, stages of life that you can focus in the career, but then the kids. And, you know, like you can always go back to the career.
Yeah, that's the thing I learned. Right? So after I quit, or when I was having that conversation with my bosses, you know what they said, which really surprised me, is like, whenever you want to come back, let us know. It could be 5 years from now, it could be 10 years from now. Whenever you want to come back, come back. And please give us a call back first.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, I'm living with open doors. Like I can always come back to my career. I can't always come back to that 2-year-old baby. No.
And once they're like turn 9 or 10, you kind of start losing them, huh? They go with friends, they have their interests, and once they're teenagers, you can never get that back.
You can't.
Right? Like it's so painful to like regretting being there with your kids, nurturing them, being that mom, but you can always go back to a boss and a paycheck. Like you can always build again the corporate ladder, even if you start later. I saw a lady just graduated as a nurse practitioner or something like at 70. See, like, but having the kids in their childhood, that limited time. Yeah. Okay, Jess.
Yes.
So I heard you quit your job. Tell me about it. Let's talk about that. Like you're choosing priorities right now.
Yeah.
So where are you right now? Share a little bit about that.
So I hired you at the perfect time because that was when I decided, I was like, okay, I want to quit my job. That was one of the goals that I had working with you. And then what was it, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks later?
3 weeks later. So a little backstory, you know, when I started like the coaching packages, Jess was literally my first client. Yes. Thank you. She was the first client that joined the 12-week program. And one of her goals was to quit her job in 6 months, I think.
Yes. Yeah.
And then what happened that 3 weeks after like coaching?
I messaged and I was like, I think I'm gonna quit tomorrow.
It was a Thursday.
Yeah, it was a Thursday. Yeah. And oh my goodness, I had to do so much inner work around that because a couple of things were blocking me from quitting. One was, well, what is my team going to do without me?
They're gonna die without me.
Yeah. Well, because I had a big part of the project, and I have like this people-pleasing habit of wanting to make everybody happy, and I just didn't want to make them suffer for a little bit. And I'm sure they're perfectly fine.
They survived. Yeah, they found someone else. And
yeah. But I really had to put myself and my family first. And then the second thing was like leaving that identity of things important, project engineer in a construction job of $75 million. Yeah, the label. The beautiful thing is that I get to pick more labels. Like I get to try out all of the things that I want to try out now because I have so much time. Well, I have more time and energy. Not a lot of time because of the kids, but I there's just so much more that I get to experience.
Yes. Yeah. I love that because I feel that women right now are identifying themselves as just like choosing one label for themselves. I'm a computer engineer, I'm a doctor, and that's it. Like that's the label they lead with, especially in relationships. Like they go with the label, like I'm an engineer, I'm a doctor, I'm a nurse, or whatever high position, because you feel proud of your accomplishment. But I'm like, okay, but the job doesn't define you. Like what other labels do you have? I'm a coach. Like Jess over here is a birth coach, like a doula. She also does life coaching. She's getting into a little bit of real estate, hopefully, you know. She's doing all these amazing things. And I feel like as a woman, you have to have this range of flavors and labels. Is you're not just a doctor. Yeah, maybe you also love yoga, and maybe you also love dancing, and maybe you're a mom and a wife, and a, you know, you try to give back to community, insert in the sacred service. You know, what would you say about that, about the feminine range of flavors and labels?
You know, as feminine women, we just want it all. We want to experience different things. We want, like you say, I love when you say, like, we want the bag in every color, because it's true. It's true.
It is true.
We want to experience it all. And when I was in my construction management job, I loved it and everything. It expanded me so much in the leadership position and just like communicating with people and everything. And not every day was the same. However, I still felt like I was this block of like, I can only be like this very masculine type of woman, you know, like telling people what to do and things like that. But now, whoa, I get to help women. I get to, just like do all the things, find my spirituality, like all of the things that I ever wanted to do. Like, it's amazing.
Now you have this, like you say, freedom and openness to receive more experiences. And honestly, ladies, I know I told you this before in person, but ladies, let me share it with you. Jess has been one of the women that I have seen transform her life in the shortest period of time. I feel like after she quit the job, she added so many flavors of her femininity into her life. And now you can see the transformation. Like, if you will know this girl before, like completely changed. And I am so like impressed about like what awakening your power inside has done for you in discovering, tapping back to your femininity and choosing your family first, you know. So let's share with these goddesses like a little bit about the feminine work that you have been doing to transform your life, your marriage, your motherhood.
So the very first thing is like what you helped me do is relax, like learning how to relax and enjoy, and taking baths. They're like, you need to take a bath, girl.
You need to soak.
Yeah, you need to soak. And taking baths, for example, was super hard for me. Like, I used to hate baths because it's like, what do you do? Like, I'm wasting time that I could be doing something else.
Inefficiency.
Yes. And now I love baths. I like spend hours in there, and my husband has to go and knock on the door and like try to get me out. And then like most recently, and tapping into that, like that has opened up like my feminine energy for sure, and that has helped me connect more with more women, because I'm like healing that wound that we sometimes have when we're very stuck in the masculine energy. And now like what my next steps are is like incorporating more flavors, like you were saying. So like incorporating, because I'm not just like the intelligent Jess that, you know, is a mechanical engineer. I'm also the mother. So I've always been like the motherly type. And I'm also the lover. I'm like the lover to my husband, and I'm just like, you know, giving out love. I'm also the queen of my castle. I love how you do it. Like you say that. I'm also a goddess. You know, like there's just so many different flavors that I'm able to step into now that I'm opening myself up to this expansion of femininity, that we're not masculine, we're not stuck in this box that we sometimes put ourselves, like the identity that you were talking about.
Yeah, just I'm this and this is it, and then we fight against or try to not show our femininity and explore it, when that's what we came here to do, to elevate people, to make this world better, more juicy, more feminine. Not everything has to be black and white. That's boring. The femininity brings in the flavors.
The flavor,
yes, the range of like passions and desires and creativity.
Pleasure.
Yes, like enjoying life.
Things.
Yeah,
enjoying life.
Everything. Even ladies, even Target, Walmart, that is targeted to women. because they know they make everything for women. If you check like who's buying on Amazon, who's buying at Target, who's buying at the most, women. And the men that are buying, they're probably, yeah, a little bit for them, but for women. So everything is like directed and created to us. Why would you shut that light down and not discover what flavors you have to share? Like she was saying, her mother, her lover, her creativity, her boss, her queen, her goddess
like
energy.
all of them, we're all of them, and
All
not
of
not just
them.
one not just one thing, and everybody has on all of women have this range. You just
do.
have to choose to step into the light.
Exactly. Choose to wake it up. Like go tap it, like wake it up. Yes.
And I love it because like now as I walk, like there's more swing to my hips, like I'm allowing my hips to move. When we're like stuck in the office and we're just sitting down, just like dimming our light and not moving,
Not moving,
but
just
you keep
sitting down.
swinging your hips, enjoy taking the day, like have fun. And that's
Yes.
something that I love about you. It's like how much you just enjoy life. Oh my gosh, I'm just like, yes, give me some of that.
Yes. Thank you, Jess. And I feel like that's something that all of us, like you say, all of us have. There is no secret to why some women are more juicy and magnetic than others. It's just how much volume they have turned it up, like of her like range of femininity. And like you say, when you're at work, like especially like we were engineers, at some point, one identity of her life, hard hats, hair up, steel boots, and some jeans, no makeup. I feel like I'm comfortable with these hair didn't fit in the in the hard hat, it's, and you're just boxed. And if you have to be there, because you might right now be like thinking like, well, but I have to work, I have to make money. So what will you tell to women that have no choice but to work and create and provide for themselves, or maybe they're in a situation where they like they're paying 50% of the bills? Like what will be like that? Okay, I see something, like she wants to say something. Okay, spit it up, Jess.
Okay, so I definitely did the 50-50 for a while, and it just didn't work. It just didn't work, and I'm super happy that I found your work and Mina's work, because letting my husband provide for me fully has allowed me to obviously have more freedom, but I also feel so much more safe. And with safety, the feminine woman needs safety in order to be able to fully love, fully like express themselves. I feel that also, like that safety that my husband has provided for me has, one, allowed me to express myself more fully, and two, express myself and my love for him more fully, and see him as this king that like just wants to protect and provide for me. And like I'm just so much more attractive to him, and he is so much more attracted to me too, because I'm receiving everything that he wants to protect, provide for me. And we're both acting out the roles that we need to act for each other and for our family. And we're always kissing each other, we're always happy, we can't keep our hands off each other, and our kids are seeing this. They're seeing the love that we have for each other, the respect, and the respect, because men need respect. Maybe you didn't see in your own family growing up, but you can create in your family. And the thing is that your kids, they will only have this chance. Like the best thing that you can teach your kids is how relationships work, because this is the only time that they will experience relationships until they get into a relationship themselves, right? And you want to set them up with a good example.
Exactly. Ooh, that was so profound indeed. Thank you, Jess, for sharing that. Because as you mentioned, this is their chance to learn relationships. And if they don't have a good example, well, they're going to go with that trauma and that maybe limiting beliefs around marriage and, parenthood and couples. And now when they try to build something for themselves, they have to go through this healing process and detachment process. And then hopefully, they're able to create something healthy. But why not to create it us, that we have the chance? Like you need to like start choosing for yourself that you're going to be the one that breaks the cycle, the one that is going to show how relationships work, how femininity helps this planet, literally, how to have a better marriage in polarity, where you're always in this cupcake phase, because it happens. I know couples like Mina, she's been married for 16 years. They're into this like amazing couple, And it doesn't have to be dull and boring. You know,
No.
a relationship doesn't need two masculine beings.
No.
It needs one feminine, one masculine to make polarity.
Yes.
And that's the best gift we can give our children, especially in this time now where everything around us is telling us, don't have kids, climb the ladder, you don't need no man, and they're like shutting down the masculinity in men. And then who's gonna protect us? They're trying to make us like weak families, because weak families create like weaker children and more like, you know, they can be more controlled. And what we want is, you know, like choose the family unit, have that juicy polarity, and it happens. You know, it can happen definitely if you choose it, and that's what you want.
Yeah, that's what women want. We want to be ravished. We want the man to be like pursuing us and opening doors for us, and you know, providing all that we want, all the love, not just the monetary stuff, but like the monetary stuff is like training ground for the love, the intangibles that we really care about.
Yes, exactly. And like you mentioned, is that the feminine needs to feel safe. And how does a feminine woman feel safe? Well, being protected, being provided, having containers for her to like be. Remember, I always told you girls that feminine it's being, masculine is doing. So the husband is doing the containers, creating, protecting, and you're just being, you know, like the goddess that you are, being the honey. I love that, the honey, exactly. Even if you say, I don't need no man to pay my bill, I know something inside of you got triggered, or maybe something inside of you is like, yes, but let me show that I'm an independent woman. And I feel like we both were in that phase where we're like, oh, I don't need no man. And then motherhood came, and then all these femininity awakening came into us, and we're like, actually we need them.
Yeah, we do.
We do.
Yeah. You can't go to work, you know, a couple weeks postpartum. Even 6 months postpartum was difficult for me. I took 6 months to leave for each of my babies, but it was so hard for me to leave them. They were babies. They were starting to eat solids, but oh my gosh, I left them I was only doing part-time hours and working from home some of the time, but it was still really hard to leave that tiny baby, like my little heart, at home while I was working on my career.
Yes, and it's proven that, you know, babies think that you guys are one. You know, like my baby, she still thinks that we are one, you know, a little extension of each other. And when they don't have the mom near, you know, it can be traumatic for both, like the mom and the kid. And just ask yourself, for what? So let's say that a woman is in this situation that she actually has to bring the money. What will you advise them to like do? Surrender, like control her expenses, or what would be like your advice to women in this situation?
I mean, you could do everything with different types of energy, right? Like I could be here and like do this interview with you in like a masculine way, or I could do it in my feminine way where I'm more relaxed and I'm just letting myself flow. And same thing with work. You can try to create like a more like relaxed and flowy state for you when you're at work. So what I tried to do is like when I was working, I felt like I still had to work, is I had my tea, I had some music, and I tried to get myself into this flow state as much as possible. And then I took breaks. I went out and, you know, walked and got my coffee. After work I went to go get a facial, you know, like take care of myself even while I was working, because I think that is the number one thing with femininity, is like you have to take care of yourself first.
Number one. Thank
Yeah.
you, Jess. Thank you. I feel like this is gonna definitely help a lot of women that are seeking for that like sign, or like maybe you're at a point where you're like, I need a change, and you hear this message. So I hope this is resonating with you. And speaking of change, Jess, will you like be open to share with us, where was this moment in life that you felt like, I'm tired of my own BS, like I'm tired, I need to change? When was that moment for you, if you had one in this whole transition of yourself?
So there was many different layers, like I was talking to you before, but like the feminine energy change started last year, like the end of last year. I felt like something happened, and I felt like my whole world turned upside down. I wasn't really quite sure where my relationship with my husband was gonna go, and that was really hard for me because I felt like I always took the right steps in my life to be where I was, you know, with the career, the house, the kids. I was like, where did I go wrong? Like I did everything
followed the
right.
agenda.
Yeah, I followed A, B, C, and D. I've been doing a lot of healing work, like coaching. I hired coaches like for the past 2 years. So that really prepped me for this transition. And then I was open to like whatever wanted to come in. And then I started watching some of your videos. You started posting more like femininity and like polarity videos. And I got so triggered. I'm like, because I felt like what you were saying in one of the videos is that like it was because of me that my relationship wasn't working. And I'm like, but I've been doing everything, like, you know, that A through D steps. And I reached out to you. I'm like, okay, you got to tell me more about this, because explain this to me more. And that's when you started coaching me or like giving more information. And I was just like going like deep into it. And I'm
Into
like,
the rabbit hole.
I want more, I want more, I want more. And I think that's really what changed. It's like I was just tired of not having the relationship that I wanted, because I'm a woman, and like I said, like I wanted everything. I wanted to have it all.
We want it
Yeah,
all.
that was
Yeah.
it.
Oh, thank you, Jess. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. And I feel like these dark places that we get into where we feel like one aspect of our life is not working is an opportunity to like try to look around, up and down, and see where is the light. Where can I find the light? And maybe the light is gonna come up as a trigger, like it did in this case for you. And then follow the intuition, follow your heart, follow the nudge that is like calling to you. And I feel like doesn't matter if it comes in a trigger, in a poster, in a podcast, in a book, somebody telling you something, or you listen to a video like these. Follow the heart, because I feel like that's the way that you can transcend faster to, you know, find the healing and the work that you have to do. And I remember, you know, I'm so happy she texted, because I had the opportunity to introduce her to my favorite mentor, Mina Arfan. And I sent you like the videos of like, you know, you need to stop like 50-50 relationships. And I'm like, yes.
I was like, I've been doing everything wrong.
I'm like, another woman woke up into her goddess power. And that was like so beautiful. And now here we are. We actually just finished like an event yesterday with her. We had this seminar, and then we're just like the day after, which is today, we're just like talking about all these amazing growth that we're like, no, we have to sit together, share these with the ladies and everything. So in the future, Jess, what do you see Jess unfolding?
Oh,
like what's coming up for her?
I love that. I definitely want to help more women. And that is connecting with the feminine energy and also helping them with their birthing journey. Because like you said, like that motherhood, like that is really a portal into your feminine, awakening your feminine energy. And you need the feminine energy in order to have like the birth of your dreams. So that's why I have 2 different packages of like femininity and birth coaching. I see myself helping more women through those. Maybe go into real estate. We'll see. Like I keep my options open, because I want to embody all the flavors of me, you know, that one I want. Yes.
And you're so early in the journey that you are going to experience so much. So tell the goddesses over here, what packages do you have available, or what services can you do you have to help them, and where they can find you online?
So I have one-to-one coaching for 3 months, and there's 2 different packages. There's the feminine energy, and with the feminine energy, I really help you connect with your pleasure and allow the pleasure in your body to like radiate from you. I feel like when we're not connected with the feminine energy, we tend to be even afraid of touching in with the pleasure. Maybe we had a lot of stories that came up with like, no, pleasure is like taboo, and we can't touch that. And you know, there is like the sexual pleasure, but it's also the pleasure of just experiencing life. How much are you allowing in? Because like I was telling you, I feel like we have everything that we ever desired like right in front of us, but we're not allowing it in. And if we're not allowing ourselves to have pleasure in life, then we can't expect ourselves to allow everything that we want in, you know? We're not going to be able to enjoy it.
Exactly.
So that is the main thing that I focus with the feminine energy. And then that leads me to birth coaching. So with birth coaching, we also get a lot of messages that birth is really painful, that it's really hard, and it doesn't have to be that way, especially if you have already connected with your pleasure, allowing yourself to surrender and have faith. And that is also really good parts, key parts of the feminine.
Wow.
And with the birth coaching, I help my clients move through the fears that come up with birthing pain. Yeah, these have been really transformative packages for my clients, like very needed, especially as they're transitioning into being more open to dating or having kids.
Yes.
So.
Wow, that's amazing. So I'll leave her links below for the packages and also Reiki.
Oh yes, and I do Reiki healing as well.
Wow. So see, ladies, there is opportunities for you to start that journey. If you want to tap more into your femininity, reach out to over here to this goddess Jess. I'll link her socials also below, which is the handle is engineering to mommy, which I love. You know, you can see that transition there, like engineering to mommy. So that's
I was manifesting it when I created that.
That's so cute.
Yes.
Very aligned with you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, goddesses, for joining this video. It was an honor to have her here.
It was an honor for me too. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jess. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.